So, is this screen visible and my voice audible? Is this screen visible and my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I think yesterday we were studying about the software reliability thing. We were seeing that what was the code and the non-code parts of the program. Then we studied that with the example that of library automation software, how different users using the same software, one may say that it is reliable, and another it may say it is not reliable. Okay, so this reliability figure of a software product which we discussed yesterday is observer dependent. Do not give any attendance in the chat box because I will be sharing the LMS QR code. So there you mark your attendance. So this reliability figure, as we have studied yesterday, it is observer dependent, and it's very much difficult to absolutely quantify the reliability of any product. So the reasons or the summations of what we discussed yesterday, the main reasons that makes any software reliability very much difficult to measure than the hardware reliability, if I can summarize, the first point can be that this reliability improvement due to this fixing of any error or bug, it depends on the fixation of errors or bugs, whatever you say. It depends on where the bug is located. So the location of the error is sorry. So the location of the error is very crucial. Why is it crucial? If I remove a bug from a core part of any program, then my reliability will increase very drastically. But if I remove a lot of errors also from a non-core part of a program, my reliability curve will increase a little bit. So depending on where my bug is located inside this code, the fixation of bugs takes place. So that factor plays a very important role. Second is what term which we have used, that this perceived reliability of any software product, it is observer dependent. Why is it observer dependent? We have studied that one category of people may see it as that the software has no problem at all, and another category of people may see that the software has a lot of problems. And this reliability of a product is, it keeps changing. It keeps changing as errors are detected and they are fixed. So these three are the parameters due to which we say that quantifying the software reliability of any software product is very much difficult. But that is not the case in case of hardware reliability, because hardware reliability we can do it very easily. Okay. Those who, again I am repeating, those who are giving the attendance in the chat box, do not give, because I will be sharing the QR code. You need to give your attendance over there only. If you do not give into the QR code, I won't be considering your attendance. Okay. Now the next topic is hardware versus software reliability. Is the important feature that differentiates this hardware and software reliability is their failure patterns. This is the aspect where this hardware and software reliabilities they make a difference. That is, if you see hardware components, they fail due to very different reasons as compared to the software components. That is, hardware components they fail mostly due to wear and tear, whereas software components they fail due to bug. So the hardware they fail due to wear and tear, if you notice you will see, but in case of software they fail due to bugs or errors. Okay, so suppose I am talking about hardware. So suppose I have a logic gate. So I have a logic gate with me, and one logic gate will can be stuck at 1, or it can be stuck at 0. It's a problem. Or maybe a resistor is short circuit. So to fix a hardware fault, one person they had to either replace or they need to repair the failed part. So for hardware you need to replace or you need to repair the failed part, the part which is causing the problem. But in contrast to the software product, it would continue to fail until the error is tracked down and either the design or the code is changed to fix the error. But in case of software, you need to fix the code, you need to change the code in order to make the effect to the result. So for this reason, when a hardware part is repaired, its reliability will be maintained at a particular level that exists. Suppose my problem is my logic gate is stuck at 1, it is not functioning at 0. And the normal one was my logic gate should function at both 1 and 0. And after this repair or replacement, it will go back to its normal procedure. That is, my logic gate should function at 1 and 0, what the normal thing was. So what happens is this reliability, it is maintained at the level that existed before the fail has occurred. Okay, but if you see a software failure, uh, it may happen that suppose my program has error in a particular section, and in order to fix that errors I have introduced few lines in my code, but that error is fixed, but I am seeing that few more errors are happening due to that error. So it may happen that for a software, this bug fixation it introduces new errors. Okay, so for this the reliability it may increase or it may decrease. So for hardware, I can say that the reliability is maintained at the old level. That is the level where the problem was initiated. Before that level, what was the reliability? After this replacement and repair, this reliability will be restored back. But in case of software, we cannot comment on this reliability. It can either increase or it can decrease depending on what type of coding changes I have done. Okay, so if I put these facts together, this hardware reliability, it is concerned with stability, and this software reliability, it is concerned with reliability growth. That is, hardware reliability is concerned with stability and software reliability it is concerned with reliability growth. Okay, so up to this is it clear to you all, or you have any questions? Okay, so the next thing is, since we have studied about this hardware reliability versus this software reliability, we need to show something in a graph, that is in a curve, how does these things look. So if I draw a curve, that is the failure rate. So this is the software reliability rate and this is the hardware part. Okay. So this will indicate the time and this will indicate the failure rate. Okay. Time and failure rate. Here I use the abbreviations. So it is noticed that the the hardware curve, it looks somewhat like this, and the software curve, it looks somewhat like this. Okay. Now, okay. So in hardware, what happens is, suppose initially the things, suppose if you buy a car, you will see initially the car is functioning very nice. So initially the failure rate is very less, the machines, the devices works fine. At a certain stage it is seen that its working or its result giving capacity is average, and after a certain time, due to suppose something has been short circuited or something has been loosely has become loose in that device, then the machine after a certain point starts giving false results. If you see a car also, after 10 to 15 years of use, it doesn't gives you the same result or the same mileage or the same comfort. So that after that the failure curve will increase. Okay. So for the hardware, it appears like a bathtub. But in case of a software, the failure is initially high. Why is it initially high? Because when I will launch an app or when I will launch a software product, a lot of users will use it, and in the real time basis, they will have a lot of errors. One by one, more and more users will use and more errors will be detected and more errors will be solved. So as more and more errors will be solved, our failure pattern will be decreased over the time. So as the faulty components, these are identified and they are either the changes made, then the failure rate will decrease, and you will see there is a certain stage where the I mean, initially, suppose I promoted my software to 1,000 customers. 1,000 customers have gave me 1,000 type of errors, and after fixation those errors, I am seeing that no more that much error is occurring. So I give it to another 1,000 customers, and I see that it is on an average basis. Okay, and after some times, the major components, like for software, what happens is, like, it will be obsolete after some time because new versions comes. So once anything it is declared as obsolete, then what will happen, we will not be bothered about whether that use of that app is giving us errors or not. So this is the concept about the software and the hardware reliability curve. That is, for hardware, suppose if you buy a 10-year-old car, and suppose that gives you for suppose now the price of a car is 4 lakhs, and you are getting a 10-year-old car at the price of 90,000 rupees. So since even if you are having a lesser amount to pay, but if you buy that car, you will end up in becoming a loser, right? So in hardware, what happens, it gives you the highest rate of failures after a long time of use. Okay. And in software, what happens is they will give you the highest failure rate just after the purchase and installation. Just after the person and installation, they will give you the highest failure rate, and more errors are identified and they are removed, and more this curve will be reduced, this failure rate will be reduced. Okay. So more and more correction is done, it is failure rate is reduced. But in case of hardware, it will give you a failure rate more after a certain time. Okay, so if I draw the complete picture, okay, so this is the complete reliability curve figure in case of any hardware product, and this is the thing in case of any software product. Okay. Okay. Up to this, is there any query? Up to this, is there any query?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So let us proceed to the next topic, that is the reliability metrics. Okay. So this reliability requirement of different category or of different types of software products, this may be different. So this is the reason why it is like necessary that the level of reliability required for a software product, it should be mentioned in the SRS document. In the SRS document, it should be mentioned that what is the level of reliability that product or the client is expecting from the organization after that product is delivered. So, in order to measure the reliability, we need some metrics to quantitatively express the reliability of any software product. Okay. So, even if a good reliability measure is always observer dependent, still, like different matrices are there in order to briefly understand that what is the reliability metrics of the product or the service which I am giving, and whether it is at par with the metrics expected by the client as mentioned in the SRS document. Okay. So the first metric is known as ROCOF, that is rate of occurrence of failure. Okay. Okay. So ROCOF does what? So this Rockoff metric, it measures the frequency of occurrence of failures. That is, this Rockoff measure of a software product, it can be obtained or derived by observing the behavior of a software product which is in operation over a specified time interval, and then calculating this ROC of value as, how do we calculate? Ratio of total number of failures observed by duration of observation. So total suppose if this is A and this is B, A is to B will give me the ROC factor. That is how many like failures have we observed in that amount of specified time. But it may happen that this software product, they are not running continuously. Suppose a car, a mixer, grinder, they run continuously, right, over a certain period of time. But it may happen that they do not run continuously, but they deliver certain service when a demand is placed on them. Suppose this library software system, it is idle until a book is issued, a book issue request is made. So, suppose in the night it will be idle. In the day, even during of recess hours, it will be idle. Generally, it is seen that students are able to go to the library only after their classes are dismissed, right? During the class, they do not go. So, certain period of time that system is in high demand. So, for that system, measuring this ROC off is a bit critical, but it is very much nice for systems which are in constant use. So for those systems which I can run that app or that product for a certain period of time, for those type of things we use the ROC of measure. That is, it will measure the frequency of occurrence of failures over a certain time period. Okay. The next metric is MTTF. The next one is mean time to failure. Okay. So MTTF is what? So it will measure the time between two successive failures averaged over a large number of failures. So what does this statement mean? Suppose if we want to measure the MTTF, so we can record the failure data. We can record the failure data for n failures. So let the this number of failures occurs at time t1, t2, t3, like so on. It occurs in this times. So this MTTF, this can be calculated using this formula, summation from 1 to n. Then I can hide ti plus 1 minus ti by n minus 1. Okay. So this is the formula. Fine. So suppose I have a few number of failures that I have observed. And I have noted down the times also for this. The failures have been there, and using this function I can find out what is the MTTF value. Okay, so this is another reliability metric for finding out the reliability of any software product. Okay, now it one thing is that for finding out these failures, the times which we will be like jotting down, or we will be this T1 T2 time which we will bother about, it is only the run time that is considered in this measurements, this time measurements, that is the time for which the system is down to fix the error, then the boot time, etc. All these times, these are not taken into account in this time measurements, and the clock will be stopped at this time. So only the running time during which the failure is occurred, this time will be taken into consideration. After that, how much time the system reboot is taking place, how much time the system bug fixation is taking place, this total times we won't be like considering in for calculate in order to calculate this MTTF. Okay, fine. So now I will be sharing with you the uh, attendance, right? First, I will share the attendance, then I will continue with the class. Okay. Okay. So everyone mark your attendance, please. Using the code, everyone mark your attendance. Okay, so I have another period with you, the from 9:50. So after this class, I will just post the link in the WhatsApp group. I forgot to post that link. So you people join there, okay? So two classes I have from 9:1 and from 9:50 another. I will be posting today itself. Is there anyone who is left to do the attendance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
do it. Is it done for all? Is there anyone who is left to do the attendance still? No. Okay.
Ma'am, hello.
Bolo.
Ma'am, in my home side network issue,
You
so I am not
you write your name
my
in the chat box. So after this 9:33, the time will be after 9:33. So I will take your attendance from the chat box. Okay.
okay, ma'am.
So there is one person, I will take her. The rest I won't be taking. Okay. So the next reliability factor.
Ma'am,
Bolo.
ma'am,
Ma'am, I also, ma'am, Marcel Madi.
Yeah.
ma'am,
Bolo.
cannot mark my attendance. Please mark my attendance.
Chat box पे लिख दो. Chat box पे लिख दो. Okay. The third one is mean time to repair. So earlier we studied MTTF, mean time to failure, where we didn't include the time which was needed to repair. That is the time where the bug fixation is done, the time where the system reboot is done. We didn't include those. But another metric is there, that is mean time to repair, which will include those. So once a failure occurs, some time is required to fix the error. Now this MTTR, it will measure the average time it takes to track the errors causing the failure and to fix them. That is, it will consider the average time that takes to track the errors causing the failure and to fix them. So in order to fix an error, I will mean that the time taken to recode the program, the time taken to reboot the system, the time taken to again give some input and check. So all these times and all these things we will be including in this MTTR value. Okay. The next uh, the next one is mean time between failure. All these are somewhat similar, but there is a slight difference between these all. Okay. So how do we get the mean time between failure? That is the time where the error has occurred at runtime, that is this MTTF, and the time which is required to repair, that is MTTR. And if we add these two metrics, we combine this, we get the total MTBF, that is the total time required from starting of the failure occurrence to the fixation to again restarting and again getting our system back. So how do we calculate MTBF? We get it as okay. So if there is a value that the value of MTBF is of 300 hours, it will indicate that once a failure has occurred, the next failure is expected to occur after 300 hours. Okay. So MTBF value will mean that that time is the time between two failures to occur. That is, if it has a value of 6 hours or 6 seconds, that means after one failure has occurred, the total fixation and the total again to take my system back to the good state, it will take 6 seconds. So this was the concept about this four reliability metrics. Another two reliability metrics are there, and there are some shortcomings, some other growth modeling. So I will stop this class over here, and we will again be studying about these things from the 950 class. Okay. So thank you so much. I will be stop sharing and I will be ending this class now.